Okay, so this is the section 1.4 quiz corrections, the calculation section. Okay, so this is question number 11 on version A. I'm not sure what it is for version B and version C, but obviously you can find the puppy question. So your dog just gave birth to puppies, and the smallest one weighed just 10.88 ounces. How much would your puppy weigh in milligrams? So this one, I give you 1 ounce is 28.3 grams. So you can convert it to grams, but then you're going to have to do a metric conversion after that to go from grams to milligrams. So let's go ahead and set this up. So we're going to start with 10. Whoops, hang on. It always does that. We're going to start with 10.88 ounces. Okay. And then we're going to put in, this is one and this is the other one. So we have to put the ounces down at the bottom. And then we put the 28.3 grams. So that's one conversion factor we've used. So now we're at grams, which we need to get into milligrams. So if you take your chart going from grams to milligrams, you'll notice that grams is the largest one. So I'm going to put my 1 gram here. Well, I know that I need to do grams and then milligrams. I'll do that too. Okay, so 1 gram. Now, you're going to use your little chart and you go from units to the little m. You go to the right 3 spaces. So that's going to be 10 to the third. Now, you don't have to write 10 to the third if that's going to confuse you. You can always write 1,000 because it's also a 1 with 3 zeros after it. Okay, so your grams cancel. Now, when you do the multiplication, you get 3.079 times 10 to the 6th. Oh, sorry, 10 to the 5th. Hang on. I can't read my own writing. Yeah, I did this one 4 times already, so 10 to the 5th milligrams. Now, notice my sig figs. This is where the sig figs gets a little hairy for people. Sig figs go with this. It's your measured amount. It doesn't have anything to do with the conversion factor. It doesn't matter what the conversion factor is. Your answer can only have the same amount of sig figs as your measurement. Okay, so there's 4 sig figs in the measurement, so my answer can only have 4 sig figs. If you put 3.08 times 10 to the 5th, I went ahead and went okay this time. I gave you the points for it. But next time you must go with the measurement. Okay, so this is number 12 on version A. And as I said, you can figure out for version B and version C yourself. Houston has approximately 2.21 times 10 to the 6 people. Each person has 2 hands, and each hand has 5 fingers. How many fingers are in Houston? Now, I know you know to multiply it by 10. Come on. We know this. But this was an exercise in dimensional analysis. I figured I'd do an easy one that you guys would easily be able to get because you know what the conversion factors are. So I guess I was wrong. I will make sure that on the re-quiz, I don't have one like this. It'll be an easy one, but not confusing like this one is. So this is what I wanted to see. This is what you were supposed to show. So we had the 2.21 times 10 to the 6 people was our first one. Now, this is each person has 2 hands. So that means one person at the bottom has 2 hands at the top. And then each hand has 5 fingers. So you can put 1 hand and 5 fingers. Hands cross out, person crosses out. You multiply across the top and the bottom, you get 2.21 times 10 to the 7th fingers. And hopefully, some people did, I think I did have one person put 2. Once again, the same thing. It is your measurement that gives you significant digits, not the conversion factors. Okay, this one is number 13 on version A. There are 2,850 miles between Houston, Texas, and Vancouver, Canada, site of the 2010 Olympic Games. How many meters is that equal to if 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers? Okay, so we're going to start out with 2850 miles. And we know that 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. Now, we've gotten to kilometers, but we need to get to meters. So once again, we're going to have to do a metric conversion. Now, between kilometers, so also I'm going to put down here, because remember, we're trying to go, we just have to put numbers. So the 1 kilometer goes at the bottom, and 1,000 or 10 to the 3, depending on how you want to do it. Because once again, if you go from the K to the unit, because remember, meters are units, you're moving 3 places to the right. Okay, now when you do the math, you get 4.56 times 10 to the 6 meters. Now, some of you only did 2 sig figs. You put down 4.6. I counted it this time, but it's not. It is 3 sig figs. See right here. This is 3 right there. There's no decimal point, so it's always you find the last number and count left. So that gives you 3 sig figs right there. So that is why my answer has 3 sig figs. Okay? Okay, this is number 14, version A. A farmer has a garden which is 20.55 meters by 8.50 meters. He also has a tarp which is 5.50 meters by 15 meters. If he lays the tarp over part of his garden, how much of the garden remains uncovered? Hint, subtract the area of the tarp from the area of the garden. Now this one is a strictly significant digit question. So there are actually 3 parts to this. So you need to be rounding after each part to the correct number of sig figs before you go on to the second part. You can do it without that. I accepted it, even though technically that's not correct, because you don't have this written as an equation with doing 3 different things. So really, because it is 3 separate problems in one word problem, you're supposed to round. So let's do the garden first. Okay, and I did want to see the work, and I did want to see your answer, because that shows me the correct number of sig figs. Times 8.50. And you get 174.675. Now, I would have, meter squared. I would have accepted it if you just underlined this and then used that number in the third step. That was fine. Supposed to round it to the proper number of sig figs, which is 175. Now your tarp is 5.50 times 15.00. Now this one, okay, already was in the right number of sig figs, 82.5 meters squared. Now, when you subtract the 2, you're supposed to get 175 minus 82.5, which gives you 92.5 meters squared. It is not the number of sig figs, okay? It is right here, okay? You've got no places past the decimal, 1 place past the decimal. So this one has to have no places past the decimal. So your answer is 93 meters squared. Now, I did let you get away with doing it the other way, because when we were doing those practice problems with the 2 together, it was one equation. So you did the addition and subtraction second, where you did all the multiplication, but kept the number of sig, you didn't round your number of sig figs. But that's because it was one equation. This is not. This is 3 separate parts. Okay, so this is what I would have accepted then. You could have done 174.675 minus 82.5, and you would have gotten 92.2 something. But because this is 174, this should have been rounded to 92. So your answer should have been 92 meters squared, not 92.2. Okay, it doesn't have 3 sig. Once again, this has nothing to do with the sig figs. This is places past the decimal. 0, or 1, and it's 0, okay? So hopefully you guys get that straight, because there'll be another one kind of like this. Won't be exactly like this, but it'll be kind of like this on the next test, or on the retest. Okay, number 15. This one is the one that came straight off of one of the worksheets for our General Chem via the Open Syed. So it was really pretty simple. The first one, A, you just had to put them into scientific notation. Now, I don't know why some of you guys were rounding it. You don't round a number that you're putting into scientific notation unless you're doing a calculation and you have to deal with the number of sig figs. So like if this one, 22475000, needed only 2 sig figs, then you would put it into scientific notation and do 2.5 times 10 to the whatever it is, the 6, I think. Okay, some people were putting the 2.5 or the 2.476, or no, 2.48, but that's not right. Okay, so you just have to write all of the digits, 475. Now, we moved the decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So times 10 to the 6, and it has a unit. Please write your unit. Okay, Greenland's ice shelf is not 2.475 times 10 to the 6. It's 2.475 times 10 to the 6 kilometers cubed. We're talking about its volume. Okay, same thing with the area of Earth's oceans. It's 3.619 times 10 to the, let's see what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 10 to the 8 kilometers squared. Now, at this point in time, if you used your version where, obviously you're going to use the rounded version, your answer on this next part is going to be different than what I'm going to get right here. But I still counted it right if your math worked out. So we're going to do 2.475 times 10 to the 6 divided by 3.619 times 10 to the 8th. And yes, you do want to put down the kilometers cubed in the kilometers squared, because it shows you that when they kilometers cubed divided by kilometers squares give you kilometers. So this is 6.839 times 10 to the minus third kilometers. Once again, you have 4 sig figs because of this. Now, some of you put 6.84 because you had rounded those to 3 sig figs. So I let you go ahead and do that because technically you're right. For what your math was, or for what your numbers were, you did it correctly. You just didn't do the first part correctly, and I didn't want to give you guys a double whammy. Okay, so the last part, C part. How much is this rise in feet, given that 1 meter is 3.281 feet? Okay, so this time we're going to take our number, and whatever number you came up with in B, you put down here. So I went ahead, and if it wasn't the same number as mine, I went ahead and did the calculation to make sure your answer matched your starting number. Okay, so we need to go to, we have meters here, but we're starting with kilometers. So once again, 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, and then 1 meter is 3.281 feet. So our kilometers and the meters cancel, and when we do the math, we get 22.44 feet. Now, as I said, I did your calculation, and if you had like 6.84, you'd still get 22.4 something, so it's 22.4. I accepted that answer. Okay, so hopefully this helps. The problems on the re-quiz are going to be real similar. They're not going to be exact. Although I will tell you number 15, I just changed it to Antarctica ice shelf, not the Greenland ice shelf. In fact, you're going to have to add both of them up. Maybe. I don't know about that. But either way, I'm going to use Antarctica's ice shelf. And you'll probably be doing the same thing, telling me how much the sea level will rise and then changing that to feet. Although I might do it into yards or miles. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But either way, it'll be similar. So have a good night, and hopefully you get this and understand it, because you cannot use this on the test, the retest. You're going to have to give me this paper corrected, and then I will let you take the requiz. Okay, see ya. Bye.